Aaron Rodgers comes up incomplete, and the Bengals have handed the Steelers their second loss of the season and ended a 4-game losing skid. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the NFL Game Day Final Mercedes-Benz postgame alongside our lead draft analyst, Daniel Jeremiah. I am Rhett Lewis, and whew,
there's a lot of plot twists in that game.
I mean, this is a choose-your-own adventure a number of times here, back and forth down the stretch. But Joe Flacco in his second start, less than 2 weeks as a Cincinnati Bengal, goes 31 of 47 for 342 yards and 3 touchdowns and engineers a game-winning drive late. Let's take you through it. Well, what do you know? It's just the 16th catch of the night for Jamar Chase.
Well, I think he just got targeted 5 more times since we started the post game here.
Franchise record 23 targets and then 16 catches, including the one you see here. 161 total yards and then the touchdown.
Look at that
this
throw.
was the best throw, maybe, of the night, and the most important, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, that was just touch and the great late separation from Higgins. He's right there. Ramsey, perfect coverage, able to separate late.
Yeah, and boy, it kind of increased the degree of difficulty a little bit for McPherson at the end.
Kept going back, going
backwards quite a bit. A little bit of anxiety kind of building there as the clock ran down and as they were calling, the Steelers were calling the rest of their timeouts, but it was executed perfectly by Zach Taylor. Situational football at its finest right there by T. Higgins as well. And then McPherson does what he needs to do, hits the game winner from 36 out, 33-31, gave the Steelers a little bit of a shot. I don't know that we thought that ball was going to travel as far as it did.
69.3 air yards.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
And it was a nice play at the end by the Cincinnati Bengals to knock it down. But, man, this was fun. Let's talk about Joe Flacco's night here. I mean, what impressed you most about what we saw from him? We're going to be able to pick this thing up pretty quickly. And then, man, it was the pass game. Look, it was also the run game, too, in the first half. Remember, that was Mike Tomlin's big gripe about the Steelers' defense, is that they were letting them run it. And then, sure enough, here goes Jamar Chase just absolutely running wild, especially in the second half with the targets.
Yeah, I thought both these teams, you know, we talked about the older quarterbacks, but we mentioned before the game started, they both want to get their running games going. And both these running games did get going
over
tonight.
Yards,
and then it showed you it made life a little bit easier on these older quarterbacks, and they both played exceptionally well.
Yeah, no question. Chase Brown over 100 for the Bengals. Jalen Warren over 100 for the Steelers. Let's talk about Chase here. I mean, this was a franchise record 23 targets, franchise record 16 catches. He was just open all night. And even when he wasn't, right? The physical, as you said, the thing that
he dropped the touchdown in this game,
and then ended up catching one. Yeah.
On top of that, so I mean, look, he's such a nightmare because of his collection of skills. When you think about the speed, strength combination, and then, you know, what's made him so deadly with Joe Burrow is they obviously have history together. So there was the anticipation throws, and they're on the same page, seeing the same picture. For him to be this synced up with Joe Flacco this early on in his tenure there, that's quite impressive. And, you know, I felt bad for Porter. I know Porter say he likes to talk a lot of trash, and he was looking forward to this contest. He's not going to look forward to watching the tape because he got beat up a lot in this game, and then Ramsey had to deal with both of them. Higgins got him a couple times, Chase got him a couple times, so it was a tough day for the Steelers' corner.
And then, look, 26 catches going back to last week where he had 10 against the Packers, 16 tonight, all of those from Joe Flacco. The most catches he's had in any 2-game stretch in his career.
Oh, I remember we were doing a Move to 6 show when we talked about what they were going to do at the quarterback position. And we said, okay, maybe it's Jameis Winston, maybe it's Joe Flacco. I don't know either one of those quarterbacks to get them in the playoffs, but they will get Jamar Chase into the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, it will be fun to watch.
And all of a sudden now you look at their record, you look at how this division is kind of all crunched up together. Man, they can just hold the fort down here with Joe Flacco. Who knows, you know, what the future holds for Burrow down towards the end of the season.
Yeah, he was the 5th player to go for over 6,000 career receiving yards in under 70 games. This was his 69th game, and now just the 3rd player in the first 5 seasons of a career to go for over 6,000 receiving yards, and then also 50 or more receiving. Pretty good names that he's up there with.
Yeah, not bad. Those little logos next to him, pretty impressive.
Jerry Rice and Randy Moss, of course, Pro Football Hall of Famers, and Jamar Chase, boy, the track he is on is certainly fitting of that.
You know who loved this game tonight, by the way?
Who's that?
The Baltimore Ravens.
And look, sitting there at 1-5.
That is a 1-5 team, and you're sitting there doing it and looking at schedules and adding this whole thing up together and going, they're not out of it yet.
4-2 right now. The Steelers dropping from 4-1 to 4. They still have the lead in the division pretty comfortably at this point. But again, every little bit counts when you're in a 1-5 hole like that, as you're saying.
Yeah, you feel like you're the Steelers. You felt like this is a game you needed to win.
Oh, no question. But this was just a phenomenal performance from Joe Flacco. I mean, like Jamar Chase, and then T. Higgins too. You know, I know we talked about that, you know, a little bit in the pregame. 6 catches, 96 yards in that touchdown. But the touchdown was huge, but the last play.
That should be, like they say, did you have a 100-yard game today? Well, yeah, he voluntarily gave up.
5.
He could have got 4 more yards to get to the 100.
Touchdown.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, like this play, that speed with the ball in his hands to split the defense down there and get into the end zone was vital down the stretch. And a couple of contested catches here. That was a big one. And then, you know, none bigger. And that throw from Flacco, you talked about this in the pregame too. You know, he's going to be pressured a bunch right in this game. He was at the end. T.J. Watt finally got to him. But his ability to anticipate and then ball placement on a deeper throw like that to Higgins where it just fell right in the bucket.
I mean, there was another blitz where he hits the back, and it's going to be a huge play.
Hey,
That's
dropped it. Yeah.
I mean, so they, like, as impressive as his numbers were and incredible for Joe Flacco, this could have been a 400-yard game, could have been a 4 or 5 touchdown game easily as well. Think about it. Chase doesn't drop the touchdown. You get one there. Then you also have at the end where Higgins makes a smart play and goes down. So as impressive as this looks on paper, when you actually just sat down and watched this football game, it was even better for Joe Flacco.
Yeah, no question. Noah Fant got a touchdown in this game, too. I mean, let's remember, the Steelers were up 10-0 to start this thing, and you're kind of like, you know, you and I both picked the Steelers. We're like, yeah, that feels about right. Then the Bengals come back and rattle 20 unanswered points off for, you know, coming out in the first possession early in the third quarter, and then it's 20-10. You're like, whoa. All of a sudden, like, this team could do this thing here. Certainly did. And Mike Tomlin is now addressing the assembled media there in Cincinnati, is at the mic with a question about dealing with Jamar Chase tonight.
Mike, as the game went on, were you thinking about double teaming Chase more, or what was your thought process?
We played these guys a bunch. We double teamed them some. We double teamed 5 some. It's a mix. A mix is required. They got depth and talent. Just like the one play 80 made down the middle, we were doubling them both, and they were one-on-one in that circumstance. And so, you know, there's many ways you can analyze it, but the bottom line is they made more plays than we did.
Mike, defensively against the run, what was the issue, especially there in the second?
They popped a couple. They did, man. We didn't do a good enough job of gap control. They popped a couple big ones, and it kind of created an unsteady environment.
It's especially disappointing with the secondary, considering, you know, sort of focus this offseason was getting these guys to play these Bengals.
Yeah, we won't be defined by this performance, but it certainly was disappointing tonight.
Mike, you feel at all in the second that maybe you got away from the run with the success you were having in the first?
I don't. You know, we turned the ball over a couple of times. It's 60 minutes of football. We ran it well in the second half. Any pocket of the game you can isolate and, you know, have judgment, so we don't worry about that. I thought we ran the ball effectively largely over the course of the game.
Was that a flea flicker called in the first half?
It was.
I think you said earlier in the season, after a game you had a bunch of turnovers, you're not going to be able to turn over everybody. Is this a game where a couple turnovers could mask some of what you were giving up on defense?
You know, when we're not getting it, we better secure it. I think it's the totality of it. We work as a collective. And so if we're not getting it, we certainly better protect it. And so we didn't do a good enough job of getting it tonight. We didn't do a good enough job of protecting it. When you're -2 on the road, you don't win a lot of those games.
Did they do anything special to neutralize your pass rush tonight?
No, they got rid of the ball quick, and they were running the ball effectively, and so it minimized some of those one-dimensional passing circumstances.
Anyone else? All right.
Thanks.
We'll bring Aaron.
All right, that's Mike Tomlin addressing the media. Now Zach Taylor, after the 3rd win of the season, is at the mic.
You know, we've sat in these locker rooms the last 4 weeks and talked about the guys are putting in the right work. They're about the right stuff. We got the right people in the locker room. And when you get to enjoy that feeling, I know it's just an early September feeling. This isn't December, January, but it's still meaningful. And these guys earned it because they've just kept plugging along. And they've known that we're close to these games. That's a good football team. So to be 2-0 the division, right in the thick of everything that we've been talking about, with another home game, coming up, chance to get healthy these next couple days. Really, really just proud of the guys and the effort, and happy to get a win. Outstanding. Yeah, Joe, I mean, it was outstanding, really. I mean, we how many drives? We scored on what, like 6 of the last 7 drives, maybe 7 of the last 8. What 7 of 8? Okay, so and really early on we had some drops and some quirky stuff happen that prevented a score there. So just thought his performance was outstanding. Very, very calm, collected. Led us in a 2-minute drive to go win the game with a huge go ball to tee. Gave those guys a chance to go make some